And now this too. When will he finally understand that nobody wants to see him here anymore? And by now, well, the CDU is already going into panic mode after the new polls. The CDU is now at 20%. In the meantime, once again, we just gave away 6 billion euros to Ukraine just like that. Keep the money. And more, all hell is breaking loose there. We also saw that yesterday with Markus Söder, where he was once again advised, no one wants to know what you ate today, tomorrow, or last week. If you want to support this channel, please drop a like and subscribe, maybe even some hype. That would mean a lot to me, and we'll take a look at the latest poll numbers and what's happening here once again. Exciting.
But of course, there are also political topics we need to talk about, indeed, and that's the Union and a turnaround in migration policy. You can now hear, increasingly from the Union, and recently also from the spokesperson for domestic policy, that the turnaround in migration policy, which this federal government also wanted to push forward or initiate, is basically already halfway accomplished.
You just have to stomach that. More and more is now making it into the press. Rape, manslaughter, murder, gang wars. Again and again, the background of the perpetrators is the same. More and more is now being brought to the attention of the German public, or you could almost say, made them aware of it. And now the Union steps up and says, yes, we have the migration crisis. They say they've already managed to fight it halfway, and if this makes the rounds again next week, then I think they'll finally be at 19, 18, or even 17%. People here in Germany are no longer being fooled. Open the daily newspaper. A police officer shot, all just last week. Rape cases where children were carried out of houses unconscious. Shootings that have happened here. And this list is so incredibly long. And now the Union stands up and says, yes, we've already tackled half of the migration crisis. And at the same time, all this is still happening.
Officially, that makes us the second largest contributor to the UN. If you look closely, we're probably the largest right now.
The US simply doesn't pay anymore, just like with Ukraine. We are the biggest supporter of Ukraine. We are the biggest supporter of the UN. And what do we get in return? Oh, I see sanctions and reforms that affect the citizens. We're a rich country, say the grandmas against the right, some of whom don't have children. Unfortunately, we have to state that as a fact. And of course, all of this is once again causing political turmoil. The latest poll numbers are in. Yes, AfD is at 29% with YouGov, and the CDU is now dropping down to 20%. And yes, I have to tell you, I was wrong. I thought the FD would break the 30% mark first, and only then would the CDU drop below 20%. I was mistaken, I'm sorry, I must have miscalculated a bit.
They have to contribute to the budget, and in Germany, the mandatory contributions are about $800 million. That means the rest, you mentioned over 5 billion earlier, that part is voluntary, and we could definitely cut that part. Thank you for your attention.
But not with the 12 SPD. Just think about Radovan, what she's doing there. She would really go crazy. I mean, lose her mind. Sorry, a little slip of the tongue on my part again. That's absolutely not okay. So, cutting all those 5 billion, do you even know how many companies are producing provoking because of that? Guys, how many companies are participating in that? All the words are coming to me today, yeah. And well, the citizen, he's just fed up with it. By now he also knows we're throwing 5 million into the pot. Here we just give 0.6 billion euros to Ukraine, then we give 0.2 billion to Sudan. All of this happened in the last 6 months. We give them another 200 million, then we give 500 million. Yes, and now suddenly the citizens have had enough because they see that they have to pay higher health insurance contributions. I have a huge issue, a really big problem. I can't even leave my wife at home anymore because now she has to pay for health insurance. Now I'm supposed to work until I'm 70. My pension is being cut. The citizens have had it up to here, and that's why this tipping point will come. And Friedrich Merz has nothing to work with, not even during the election campaign. Now they already have to slander their own people if they ever had fun with the AfD. What must not be cannot be, and that's why you are warmly invited. Run in the next election. Join a party that fights for your values and support this whole effort. The tide is turning, and people are fed up. A good 30% of all people out there no longer believe that the AfD is right-wing radical. Otherwise, they wouldn't vote for them anymore. But they also see that a policy change is no longer possible with the other parties. Otherwise, they wouldn't read on the one hand. Violent assaults are continuing to increase. And on the other hand, migration crisis halfway solved.
What has happened so far? The asylum numbers have actually gone down. They have dropped significantly. But this year, we will probably again see slightly over 100,000 new asylum applications. So that's like a small city newly arriving in Germany. And on the other hand, we see that the number of deportations is not increasing at all. In the first quarter, we were even below the numbers from the previous year. So if anything, there's just a little happening when it comes to immigration.
This far-right world press satire ends here. Seriously, they're actually talking about it. Every year, a new small town comes to Germany, and more people are causing trouble here. And the union says, yes, we've ended it, we're done with it. It's just another lie that fits into a huge structure of marches, failures here in Germany. And I hope we see in the next poll, which was actually supposed to come out yesterday, a 30-20 regulation. But somehow the second INSA poll somehow got lost along the way. Well, the one from Monday. Good question. There are usually always two. They're mostly identical, but one is missing. Really impressive. I just wonder why. And this poll I got for Saxony-Anhalt doesn't seem to be correct. They really urgently need to change it again. Or just wait a little bit. Maybe the wind will change. I haven't talked about it for a long time because I just didn't believe these numbers myself. But it was just brought to my attention that the AfD should now be at over 45% in Saxony-Anhalt. And all I heard about were uprisings. All I heard about were coup attempts and so on and so forth. And at the same time, I thought to myself, okay, at 45%, the climate is getting hotter and hotter. That's why I told you several times that this exact election poll is simply lagging behind. But just imagine if some polling company came along and said, except for News Now, the AfD is at 45% and says nobody else is needed anymore. That would be a catastrophic signal for the campaigners in Saxony-Anhalt. So, dear News, please publish the next data, your table. For the first time, things might slowly open up here for diplomacy.
These could be the first steps, again, everything is still hypothetical, of a new diplomatic initiative.
Ultimately, it depends on Donald Trump again.
Yes, and the Chancellor went there today, now listen to this, and gave Donald Trump a German soccer jersey with the name on top, Trump. Yes, so if you really want to make the citizens here in Germany angry, then you do exactly these kinds of jokes, especially when that makes the rounds again tomorrow. Yes, so handing a German soccer jersey to Trump after the Strait of Hormuz, the fuel prices out there, and we keep hearing all the time. Yes, Donald Trump is to blame for everything. Climate crisis, global aid, pulling back funds like we just mentioned, no longer supporting Ukraine, blah. Yeah, handing him a jersey now and kissing up to him like that, that's really worthy of a chancellor, what he did today. But now the window for diplomatic peace is opening. Question: if we get peace quickly, would we then get the money back? I mean, the money we overpaid for 2027. Or has it already disappeared into corrupt channels? Because now they definitely need even more money from us. There will be a third video coming out today.